And it's tournament day. So, going down to the Hooded Goblin once again, where I'm going to play 2,000 points of Drukhari against a variety of opponents. There's a good turnout today, so let's take a look at how it goes. Stay tuned.
The Dark King.
And we're here at Georgetown, Ontario. It's raining. Yeah, storming out today. So we're going to be inside. It's going to be a nice little event. I brought my 2,000 points of Drukhari. A little bit different than the last tournament report you've seen. You've seen me develop this list over time on the channel. I'm very excited to sort of put it to the test. I feel like it does very well with the missions. The true test, of course, will be top players, top lists. So let's see how it does. I'm very curious. You know, it's definitely got a little spice of life. It's a list that requires me to think outside of the box a lot, and you know, there's no better time to test your lists than to take them to an RTT locally and test them before you sort of like take them internationally, essentially. So let's dive into the list, the breakdown, like what I've picked and things like that, and then we'll go into the games and matchups. Enjoy. And here's the list that I will be taking to the tournament. You've seen it before on a few of the battle reports that I've released recently. Biggest change is, of course, lack of Forge World, or the banning of Forge World, makes me sort of switch it up just a tad from my traditional competitive list. But it is a triple patrol detachment. Cabal Patrol, Cabal of the Black Heart, led by Archon Skari. A Cult of Red Grief Patrol, led by Succubus. Drazar, that's part of the third patrol. A Coven Patrol, which is a custom Coven as well. So we've got the Homunculus there. Now this gives me 3 or 4 command points, which essentially allows me to start with all 12 command points. The first patrol includes its troop, a unit of Cavalry Warriors with a Phantasm Grenade Launcher. This allows the unit to fire and fade, if possible, if needed, after advancing. It also gives them some shenanigans, ability to do mortal wounds, that sort of thing. A Slith is there, mainly to do some actions, because he's not a character, which means he can do actions, being infantry, which is pretty cool. The Archon, of course, has a Huskblade, Blast Pistol, and he is the Warlord, but that's it. His Warlord trait is Labyrinthine Cunning. Gives me command point regeneration. Then we have 2 Ravagers with triple lances. That's right, I put the triple lances on them, magnetize them up, instead of disintegrator cannons, substituting in for the Reapers. Sadly, of course, they don't have Reapers, but that's okay. I'm looking forward to them. They do about the same. Then we have the Succubus with the points saved from the Reapers. I gave her a Shardnet and Impaler. She has the +1 to her Strength Combat Drug, and she has the 3+ Invulnerable Save Warlord trait, because I did spend a command point for the Alliance of Agony, giving me 2 additional Warlord traits, 1 on the Succubus and 1 on the Homunculus. The Witches have the +2 inches to their movement combat drug, allowing them to move 10. With the Advance and Charge, it makes them very, very fast. Then we have the 9 Reaver Jet Bikes with 3 Heat Lances. They usually go with the +1 Toughness combat drug. Then we, of course, have the Hellions. They are done, ready to rock and roll. Little unit of 5 Hellions. They will be rocking the +1 Attack combat drug. And last but not least, a Beast Pack Master with a Agonizer and a +2 Leadership combat drug, giving his Leadership 9 to both units of Beast Packs, which are Razorwing Flocks, 2 squads of 4. A lot of people ask me where I get these birds from. They are from the Zombicide Murder of Crows set. You get like 16 to a pack. Pretty cool. Eventually, hopefully GW does some plastic ones, and then I'll use those instead of the fine cast ones. And the last patrol is the biggest. It is a custom Coven, Dark Technomancers. Allows me to overcharge my ranged weapons in the detachment for the Coven units, giving them +1 to wound and +1 damage. However, they can do mortal wounds if I roll a 1 to wound, not on the hit roll. It's kind of cool, actually. Then I've taken the Warlord trait
Master Regenist on the Homunculus, so he regains D3 wounds at the start of each of my turns. And I did, the free relic that I used is a Nightmare Doll on him, so he gives him a 4+ ignore damage roll, which is really, really good for a Homunculus. And then I did spend 1 command point to give her the Helm of Spite, because I find more and more that having some anti-psycho tech in your list is really useful. Drazar is stock. He's a special character. He's just there as one of the HQs in infantry to unlock more dedicated transports. And then 2 units of 5 incubi, each with a Clavex. One of the units, Clavex, has demi-claves as well. And then to round it off, 3 troop units. 2 of them have ossifactors and hex rifles, and one of them just has a hex rifle. And then we have the pièce de résistance, the main meat and potatoes, 6 venoms with 1 cannon and a twin-linked rifle. And one of them has grizzly trophies. And of course, they can carry any and all of the squads that they want to. But that is 2,000 points of Drukhari. Let me know what you think down below. Let's see how the list does. It's 3 rounds. There's going to be lots of competition. There's going to be, you know, last time I went, I took the Talos and things like that. So let's see how this version of the list does in the same sort of meta that we've been seeing with Salamanders, Custodes, Grey Knights, and a whole variety of other things. Okay, let's dive in to the games. And here we are. This is round number 1. We're playing on table number 3 for the WTC. Look how heavy that is. I'm playing against a Horde demon list of Khorne Berserkers and Plague Bearers and Nurglings. And this is mission 11, as you can tell. So wish me luck. It's a horde of dudes. Let's see what I can do. So, 60 Plague Bearers, 90 Bloodletters, and a variety of characters. I knew I had my work cut out for me. One of the biggest things in this game I knew was going to be move blocking his objectives secured to stop him from just completely overwhelming the objectives on my side of the table. So let's see how I did.
And that is the end of round number 1. So I was able to kill 30 Bloodletters on turn 1. Then I killed 30 Bloodletters on like turn 2. It basically took me 3 turns to kill 1 unit of 30 here. And then I killed the other unit of 30 over here with Drazar as he like strung out. Biggest thing was morale here. I forced him to fail morale, and then he had to take a bunch of attrition tests over multiple turns. And now that you cannot re-roll the morale dice, the morale was really felt. What I did is I basically focused over here like this on these objectives because I knew the horde was coming, and I was able to kill one thing at a time while putting like just stuff to block him and just delay him, like the Hellions, the Ravager, and then I had the Succubus with the Shardnet over there as well. And then Drazar and the characters just stayed back here because he had no shooting, so I was able to do that as well. Other than that, the Ravagers were okay. They were good. In this matchup, they were pretty useless, so I used them as screens mainly. But the Venoms, Danny, what do you think of the Venoms?
I think the Venoms are amazing.
They're pretty good.
They're really good.
Now, at the end of the day, I did end with like 14 minutes left to Danny 0 minutes.
Yeah.
So he did run out of time because we did use a chess clock. Okay. But other than that, I feel like it was going in my direction.
Oh yeah.
Because I was able to kill them, and he only really had one OBSEC unit left that had a net on it. So I was going to be able to sort of consolidate my gains for the last 2 turns on these 4 objectives over here. But other than that, thanks for watching round number 1. Make sure you check out Danny, who's at the lab. That's right, at the lab. That's right. Okay. Other than that, thanks a lot, everybody. On to round number 2. We're here on round number 2. I get to play none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Dustin Hushaw.
That's me.
Who?
Me.
Yes. Hushaw.
Who? Shaw.
Shaw.
That should be my
Shaw,
chant.
that's me.
Who? Shaw.
Shaw, that's me. We're playing mission 21, and this is the tip. This, of course, is the cool Kickstarter stuff from Avalon, which is awesome. This is something that's just been painted, but that's okay. We're going to play, he's playing 15 Zoanthropes and a bunch of dudes.
No, I'm not.
So that's definitely a much tougher matchup for me because I hate mortal wounds with a passion, and Dustin is very well versed with them. So we'll see. Okay. Yeah, there are your babies. Okay, stay tuned. Wish me luck. Let's dive into this.
against a fellow Team Canada member, Dustin, and his well-versed Zoanthrope list, with some aberrants and some Genestealer cult stuff in there that really sort of threw things into the mix. Dustin made me go first, which I did not want him to do. I wanted him to take first turn, and it sort of forced my hand. In this game, I knew I had to deal with the mortal wound output, so trying to kill the Zoanthropes was top priority for me.
And that's it for round number 3. Very tight game. We ran out of time, but we did 4 turns. And in 4 turns, it was 58 to Dustin and 51 for me. I decided to go for the Surround Them secondary, which is an end game secondary. I just set it up. I just couldn't get to there. And there was one turn where I could have gotten it, but then he killed my Jetbikes. So
They already got
which was great. But very, very tight game. Zoanthrope's one of the toughest matchups. However, there were only like 2 left at the end of the game. Plus the Neurothrope. I almost killed all 15 Zoanthropes, which I'm excited about because it's hard to do. He's pretty cool, very annoying. And then the Aberrant's still alive back there. What a fantastic, great game though. And with that, with a loss, moving down to round 3. And here we are. It is round number 3. Playing Chris. You've seen his army before from the lab. And yeah, he's going first. So wish me luck.
Now, against the Tyranids. Now, Chris has played against me before with this basically list. So the first time we played, he made a few mistakes, and I knew he would have learnt from when we played to make sure he didn't make those mistakes again. So I knew I was bound to have another good matchup at the end of the day.
That's round 3. Great game. I had a fantastic turn 2 or 3, where basically everything I shot died, and I killed a Broodlord, 2 Primes, an Exocrine, a Malanthrope, and it basically flipped the whole game on its head. So I was able to win this game. At the end of the game, we had Drazar jumping in and doing some crazy stuff, and then Ripper Swarms and Birds were like beating each other up on this objective over here. That was a fantastic game. 2-1. And when I get back to the studio, we'll go over some stuff. Make sure you check out the lab, because I just played Chris. Say hi. And his Tyranids, the link will be down or below. And they run events there all the time.
So I'm here, back at the studio, after a fantastic day of gaming. 3 rounds against 3 great opponents. My list did well. You saw. It was okay. Had one game that was very, very close. Very, very close against Dustin. I did take 3rd place out of the tournament. It was 16 players. So even with that loss, some high point wins got me onto the podium. So very excited about that. Both Dustin and Devin, they went 1st and 2nd. So Devin was in 1st, Dustin was in 2nd. They went undefeated. So we needed one more round to sort of determine the victor. But 3 rounds RTT is not bad. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the tournament report. Let me know if you'd like me to do more. Leave a comment, like, share, and if you'd like to support the content I create, you can always support me on Patreon. I do some behind the scenes stuff and like Meta Mondays and things like that. There's no pressure. It's just if you want to support a content creator, you can. There's no sort of like big paywall for a bunch of random stuff or whatever. But I'm greatly appreciative of all the denizens, and I've made lots of friends over the course of the 1.5 years that I've been doing this full time. Okay, well, with that, time to plan for the next one, which I believe is in a couple of weeks. So let me know what you thought down below. Thanks for tuning in. I have been Skari, your grateful host. Also, I've been wearing SkaredCast swag shirt. If you want one too, or the objectives and stuff, there's a link to the Dream Tea store. So that's another way, if you like swag, you can support the channel that way. Okay, bye everybody. Skari out. The Dark Kin.